which is 3.1. It's a resolution in support of Homeless Youth Awareness Month. Can I get a motion in support of the resolution? Nate?
Yes, I move that the board adopt a resolution in support of National Homeless Youth Awareness Month, November 2022.
Excellent, thank you. Can I get a second? Okay, will you take the second from DJ as well? And Nate, I think it is. Did you want to read the resolution for us? Do you have that resolution?
Yeah, I would like to read it. Do we have anything before that?
No, go ahead and read
Okay.
it, and then we'll have some folks from staff to come and talk with us about it.
Okay, all right. Resolution of the Poudre School District Board of Education in support of National Homeless Youth Awareness Month, November 2022. Whereas National Homeless Youth Awareness Month was first declared in November of 2007. Since then, November has been a time to acknowledge those children and families experiencing hunger and homelessness, and whereas in the 2020 to 2021 school year, 1,312 K-12 students in Poudre School District were experiencing homelessness. In the 2021 to 2022 school year, there were 1,313, and there are 927 as of October 5th, 2022. And whereas the McKinney-Vento Act is designed to provide students experiencing homelessness with resources and protections that remove all educational barriers with emphasis on educational enrollment, attendance, and success. And whereas the purpose of the proclamation is to educate the public about the many reasons students are hungry and homeless, including the shortage of affordable housing within the Poudre School District, and to encourage support for homeless assistance service providers as well as community service opportunities for students and school service organizations. And whereas there are many organizations committed to providing shelters, support services, meals, and food supplies to students in Poudre School District experiencing homelessness, including McBackpack Food Program, the Food Bank of Larimer County, the United Way of Larimer County, the Family Housing Network, Catholic Charities, and housing partners such as Housing Catalyst, Neighbor to Neighbor, Care Housing, and others. And whereas the Poudre School District Board of Education staff and community recognize that hunger and homelessness continues to be a serious problem for many students and families in Poudre School District. Now therefore be it resolved that the Poudre School District Board of Education hereby proclaims November 2022 as National Homeless Youth Awareness Month and encourages our community to recognize that many students and families do not have housing and adequate food and need support from our community with assistance from both private and public nonprofit service entities. Please take time this month to find ways to help our homeless youth in our community.
Excellent, thank you very much. And Superintendent, I believe we have some folks here to talk about this.
Yes, thank you. Here this evening to speak to the resolution in support of Homeless Youth Awareness Month is our district's McKinney-Vento Program Specialist, Ms. Whitney Reed. Welcome, Whitney.
Thank you. My name is Whitney Reed. I am the McKinney-Vento Program Specialist in the Department of Language, Culture, and Equity. I'd like to thank the board for continuing to recognize Homeless Youth Awareness Month. As I stated last year, providing that recognition and support is critical to spreading awareness of youth homelessness throughout our community, and in turn, lifting up and recognizing our most vulnerable students and families. McKinney-Vento is a federal law that exists to provide assistance and support to families and students who are experiencing housing insecurity and homelessness. We identified over 1,300 K-12 students who were eligible for McKinney services in Poudre School District during the 2021-2022 school year, as well as over 100 children participating in PSD's early childhood programming. To date, for this current school year, we have already identified more than 950 students in PSD as McKinney-Vento, which is a 7% rise over our October numbers from 21-22 school year. The circumstances that our families and students find themselves in are wide-ranging and include being doubled up with family and friends, families residing in emergency and domestic violence shelters, and students and families living in hotels, motels, RVs, campgrounds, and even living on the streets. Last year, I spoke to the services that we provide. This year, I'd like to read a statement from Lisa Mahler, a PSD employee and former shelter associate and case manager at the Samaritan House, which is formerly known as Catholic Charities, one of our 2 overnight emergency shelters available in Fort Collins. Lisa writes, working at Catholic Charities the last 2 years as a shelter associate and case manager, working specifically with incoming families and children, I have had firsthand experience working with the challenges and barriers that youth homelessness creates. During this time, I've been thankful to have McKinney-Vento liaisons, advocates, and contacts to turn to for guidance and support. The most important thing we can give to children experiencing homelessness is structure and support, and that means being in school. It provides normalcy to their lives every Monday through Friday, gives them a place where they are fed, where they can socialize with peers, and receive the support of caring adults. Students come into this situation without having a voice. They live in motels, in cars, and in shelter settings where addiction and mental health struggles run high. McKinney-Vento and PSD provide these students with a voice. We look out for the best interests and provide these students with a light at the end of the tunnel. Children and youth experiencing homelessness are the ones who suffer when our community does not step up and help with the essential needs of everyday life. With the help of McKinney-Vento, families are able to meet the needs of their children through free meals, transportation to and from school, vouchers for gas, grocery, clothing, laundry vouchers, and motel vouchers when shelters are full. These children and parents don't ask to be in these situations, yet the children are often the ones who suffer the consequences. McKinney-Vento helps remove the barriers their living situations create by helping to provide food, clean clothing, and help finding safe places for these kids to sleep and stay. And most importantly, McKinney connects them to schools that provide these students something of value to engage in and that help them find self-worth and self-confidence while they endure very trying circumstances. Our McKinney-Vento services and the resources they provide to families are key to teaching families how to advocate for themselves and to achieve stability and sustainability. We've had a few success stories at this shelter, but one that sticks out most is a family of 8 who joined us at the shelter, first in Overflow and then our extended stay program. Within the first couple days, I met with mom and we got her kids enrolled in 3 different schools and enrolled as McKinney-Vento. McKinney specialists made sure they had PSD transportation, and while waiting for busing to start, provided gas vouchers to help mom get the kids to school. McKinney also gave the kids backpacks with school supplies for their first day of school and vouchers for clothing so the kids could start with clean, well-fitted clothing. This family eventually found housing, and thanks to McKinney-Vento, was able to furnish their home with Habitat for Humanity vouchers provided by McKinney-Vento. I believe that if Poudre School District and their McKinney staff weren't here to help, families would not be supported and guided. This family is still housed, the parents are working and kids are at school and involved in school activities, all thanks to comprehensive supports that PSD McKinney-Vento program brings. As a community and as a school district, we need to talk to families experiencing homelessness without judgment and learn their stories. Everyone has been dealt a hand in life, and some of those hands are messy. We need to support and continue to support our homeless youth. We need to let them know that there are people who care. I would like to thank Lisa for sharing her experience and for advocating for the families she has served and continue to serve. We couldn't do the work that we do without the help of partners like Lisa and the organizations they represent. This organization works tirelessly to help those experiencing homelessness in our community. We owe a debt of gratitude to many individuals in Fort Collins and the surrounding communities who lift us up with their donations and forms of generosity. And we owe everything to our caring, devoted, and compassionate PSD staff and the work they do day in and day out to support our students and families. This includes our McKinney contacts and advocates, family liaisons, nutrition service staff, bus drivers and routers, teachers, counselors, school social workers, and so many others. Finally, we need to celebrate the families we serve. They inspire us daily with their stories, their resilience, their determination, and their love for their children. By acknowledging Homeless Youth Awareness Month and supporting our McKinney-Vento program, PSD's Board of Education helps make all these efforts possible, and that makes a huge difference in the lives of the families we serve. Thank you.
Thank you very much for sharing that. Are there folks on the board who would like to discuss? Is there discussion or comment on the resolution before we have a vote? Go ahead, DJ.
I just want to emphasize that number that she said about 7%. It's gone up since last year, and we were already, so it's 951, something like that. And so I just, to me, it's a shocking number, and I just want to make sure that we spend a little time with that number and think about it. Thanks.
Kristen, did you want to add anything? Go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to thank you, Whitney, and your team and everything that you're doing. I know that this is something that I think a lot of times we don't want to see, as it's not what we like to see. But it needs to be seen, and it needs to be addressed. And, you know, these children need to be brought into the fold and hugged the same way that all children do. So I thank you for doing that, and I thank you for, you know, just from the top down, like you mentioned, to everybody who, you know, touches those children's lives. So thank you.
Go ahead, Nate.
One of the things that I've experienced in my time as a school bus driver is the wonderful ability to have these families that are moving around and may not be in the neighborhood where their children are going to school, that we provide them transportation from wherever they're living to that same school so that they can stay and have some stability there. So I think that's one important aspect of this as well.
Thanks for sharing that. Any other comments? All right, I'll just say thank you to my peers for remarks well said. I agree with them, and it really is one of those things that many people aren't aware of, how much homelessness there is in our city and area, in our district, and with our students. And we really appreciate the job that our staff does to help support those students as they go through their educational experience. So thank you. And with that, I will ask Jill to call a vote.
DJ Anderson,
Aye.
Jim Brokish.
Aye.
Nate Donovan,
Aye.
Kristen Draper,
Aye.
Rob Pedersen,
Aye.
Carolyn Reed,
Aye.
Jessica Zamora.
Aye.
Motion passes 7-0.